Welcome to today's video, where we're diving into the fascinating world of geometric minimalist wood sculptures. Minimalism is a design style that's all about simplicity, clean lines, and the beauty of restraint. When you apply these principles to woodworking, something incredible happens. You create sculptures that aren't just aesthetically pleasing, but also thoughtfully designed. In today's video, we'll explore the principles behind geometric minimalist wood sculptures, how to create your own, and why this style has become such a significant movement in the world of art. Geometric minimalist sculptures are essentially pieces that use geometric shapes, such as cubes, spheres, triangles, and other basic forms, to create visually striking art. These sculptures focus on the balance of shapes, the use of negative space, and the elegance that comes with simplicity. Unlike more intricate, detailed works of art, geometric minimalist sculptures draw their beauty from the purity of form. The goal is not to overwhelm the viewer with complex details, but to evoke emotion through clarity, precision, and design. Wood, with its natural textures and organic grain, offers a beautiful contrast to the hard-edged, sharp lines of geometric shapes. The rawness of the wood allows for a connection with nature, while the geometric forms give the sculpture a modern and intellectual quality. When combined, they create a harmonious balance between the natural world and the structured world of design. To get started, let's talk about the materials. For geometric minimalist wood sculptures, you'll typically want to choose hardwoods, which are durable and can hold sharp edges and fine details. Woods like oak, maple, walnut, and cherry are ideal for this style because they have a smooth texture and can be easily worked into sharp, clean shapes. Softwoods like pine or cedar can also be used, but they may require a little more care when working with intricate details since they tend to be softer and can dent more easily. When selecting your wood, think about the tone and grain as well. Lighter woods, like maple or ash, often give a fresh, airy feeling to the sculpture, making them perfect for contemporary or Scandinavian-inspired pieces. Darker woods, such as walnut or mahogany, bring a more serious, grounding vibe to the piece, often lending a sense of sophistication. These darker woods tend to pair well with geometric shapes that have sharp angles and bold designs. Next, let's consider the design principles of geometric minimalist sculptures. As the name suggests, the design is focused on basic geometric shapes. You might start by envisioning a simple form, a cube, a sphere, a pyramid, or even an abstract shape like a hexagon or octagon. These basic forms can be stacked, combined, or interwoven to create a more complex design, but the focus should always remain on simplicity and elegance. One of the most appealing aspects of geometric minimalist wood sculptures is the way they use negative space. Negative space is the area around and between the objects that form the sculpture. It's just as important as the solid parts of the sculpture because it shapes the overall form and can create movement, balance, and harmony in a piece. In minimalist design, the negative space isn't seen as empty, but as an essential part of the artwork that gives it a sense of breadth and openness. As you work with wood, you'll want to make sure that each cut, each plane, and each angle is intentional. Precision is key in geometric art because the simplicity of the design relies on every detail being perfect. There's no room for error in geometric sculpture, and the cleaner and more precise your cuts, the better the sculpture will turn out. For this reason, it's important to take your time, measure carefully, and use tools that help achieve sharp, clean lines. Now, let's dive into some techniques for creating these sculptures. The most basic technique involves cutting geometric shapes from a block of wood. You might start by cutting a cube or rectangular block, then gradually shaping the piece down to the final form. Depending on the design, you may use a bandsaw, scroll saw, or jigsaw to make the initial cuts. Once the rough shape is formed, you can use a sander, carving tools, or a planer to smooth out the edges and give the sculpture a finished appearance. To create sharp, angular edges in your geometric sculpture, you'll need precision tools like a router, or you can use a hand saw for more intricate details. Sanding the wood after carving is crucial, as it helps refine the texture and finish, ensuring that the piece feels smooth to the touch. Sanding also helps remove any splinters and gives the wood a natural, polished look. For a truly minimalist effect, you can leave the surface of the wood unfinished, allowing the natural beauty of the grain to shine through, or apply a light finish, like a clear wood oil or wax, to protect the wood without obscuring its natural texture. One technique that's gaining popularity in geometric sculpture is combining different shapes. You might create a series of cubes and pyramids, for example, and arrange them in a way that makes them feel like they are part of one continuous form. The key here is balance. Geometric minimalist art thrives on the symmetry and alignment of its shapes, so arranging the pieces in a way that feels natural and balanced is essential. For more advanced work, you can experiment with adding intricate details, such as cutout patterns or textures. By carving into the wood or using different finishes, you can create a contrast between smooth, polished surfaces and more textured, natural areas. These subtle details can add depth and interest to an otherwise simple design, making the sculpture more dynamic and engaging to the viewer. As we continue exploring geometric minimalist sculptures, let's consider how the scale of the piece affects its impact. Large sculptures made from wood and geometric shapes can make a bold statement, while smaller pieces can evoke a more intimate, delicate feeling. The scale of the piece should align with the space where it's displayed. Larger sculptures work well in open, airy spaces, where they can be admired from multiple angles. Smaller sculptures, on the other hand, can be placed on tables, shelves, or mantels to create a more subtle focal point. The placement of your sculpture is equally important. A geometric minimalist wood sculpture can look striking when displayed against a neutral wall or in an open space with lots of natural light. The shadows and light play a big part in how these sculptures are perceived. The sharp edges and angles of geometric shapes create interesting shadows that change as the viewer moves around the piece. This interaction with light and shadow brings the sculpture to life and enhances the minimalist aesthetic. Another element to consider is the base of the sculpture. Depending on the design, your sculpture might need a sturdy base to keep it upright. For a more industrial look, you might pair the wood with metal for the base, giving the sculpture a sleek, modern appearance. Alternatively, a wooden base can be used to match the sculpture's aesthetic, providing a seamless, unified look that enhances the overall presentation. Choosing the right base is just as important as the sculpture itself. A well-chosen base can either contrast or complement the sculpture, making it stand out even more. If you want to emphasize the minimalist design of your sculpture, a sleek, smooth, polished base would work beautifully, giving the piece an elegant, uninterrupted flow. On the other hand, if you want to add some textural contrast, a base with visible wood grain or a slightly rougher texture can offer an intriguing juxtaposition against the clean lines of the sculpture. Whichever you choose, the base acts as the grounding element, helping to bring balance and a sense of completion to the piece. Once your geometric minimalist wood sculpture is complete, you'll have created a truly unique, modern work of art that reflects not only your artistic vision, but also the beauty of simplicity. The power of this form of art is in its restraint. The clean, precise lines and shapes allow the natural texture and warmth of the wood to shine through, while the minimalist design offers a calming and visually satisfying aesthetic. These sculptures aren't just pieces of decoration. They invite the viewer to slow down, take in the details, and appreciate the craftsmanship behind them. Whether displayed in your home, office, or a gallery, these sculptures create a striking visual focal point. Their simplicity allows them to blend harmoniously into various types of spaces, from modern, industrial interiors to more rustic, cozy rooms. They can also be great conversation starters, making them perfect for galleries, private collections, or even as a gift for someone who appreciates art. The geometric nature of these sculptures offers endless possibilities for personal interpretation, making them truly one-of-a-kind pieces. As we wrap up today's video, I hope you're feeling inspired to try creating your own geometric minimalist wood sculpture. The beauty of this art form lies not just in the finished product, but in the process itself. It's about focusing on clean lines, precision, and most importantly, the connection between the material and the design. Don't be afraid to experiment with different shapes, sizes, and wood types to see what speaks to you the most. Whether you're a seasoned woodworker or a beginner, Creating something with your hands brings an immense sense of satisfaction and accomplishment. Remember, each cut, each polish, and each moment you spend working on your sculpture adds to its uniqueness and character. Embrace the natural imperfections of the wood, the grain, the knots, and the subtle variations in color, because they tell the story of the material and the craftsmanship that went into creating the piece. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and feel inspired to begin your own woodworking journey, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more woodworking inspiration and creative ideas. We have plenty of exciting content lined up to keep your creative spark alive. Whether you're looking for tips, tutorials, or simply some fresh ideas to inspire your next project, we've got you covered. Until next time, happy sculpting, and I can't wait to see the incredible pieces you create.